Broadcasting live from a sea of technocratic nonsense on an island of freedom. It's the Bell Howard Show. And now, here's your host, Bell Howard. Bell Howard. Bell Howard. Bell Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Bell Howard Show. Say amen, because this is the island of freedom you've been praying for. Row your lifeboat ashore, join the party, take off your mask, and breathe the rarefied air of free ideas, free expression, and free coffee. Not free love, though. That's gross. And we got a DJ, too, DJ Wes. Our producer, Wes, on the ones and twos, and we are properly socially distanced. Don't worry about it. Wes came back last week. I know a lot of you sent in emails concerned about Wes's health, and he's fine. You know, he came back last week. He had a cough, and he was wheezing, and he crawled into the break room and sheltered there. He seems fine, though, but he ate all the cheese danishes. And you know what? I just thought, Wes, why don't you just stay there? Stay in the break room. And what I did was I put a hole in the wall, and I added a little service window, and so I can replenish his supplies every so often. But he's fine now, and it's good to have old Wes back, and he has his inhaler, all the necessary medical accoutrement that he requires. Wes, are you there? Yeah, he's there. We have an interesting show today. Today we're talking about soy and soy boys, and I'm sure you've seen them at your local health food store, but really, they're everywhere. There's a specter haunting American malls. It's soy culture, soy products, soy thinking. Is it leading to America's downfall? We're going to talk to Professor Lisa Krust. She's going to talk about her article in Reasonable Ideas magazine. That's going to be interesting. Stay tuned for that. Stay on the line. Stay in an earshot of this radio show. Let's go to a new segment that we're starting here at the Bell Howard Show. It's our news segment, and I like to call it the news segment.
It's the news segment. This is where you get your news.
Wes, we got to work on that one. It's the news segment brought to you by Oakfield Suppressors. That's right, Oakfield Suppressors wants you to know it's not a silencer, it's a suppressor. Want to shoot a gun without your neighbor's dog barking or people calling the police? Target practice in your backyard has never been quieter. Add an Oakfield suppressor to your firearm today and shoot in near complete silence. Oakfield suppressors, don't shoot the messenger. Shoot the dog. They left off the end of that ad copy. I think they said they were going to send it to us, but it was too late, so I'll think of one later on. I'll think of a tagline for that ad later on in the show. In the news today, White House says that science should not stand in the way of schools reopening. The White House press correspondent said that, and you know what? I agree. Kids need to go to school to learn science. So it's science's best interest to get out of the way and let kids re-enter school so they can learn it. Shame on you, science. Get out of the way. Allow those kids back in school so they can learn you. The same people that want to keep schools closed are saying, you know, our children are way behind in science and our test scores are so much lower than other countries. Well, they're not going to learn science at home unless mommy or daddy is a scientist. But even then, they're busy too, assuming that they are scientists, so they're not going to have time to teach their kids. Maybe at the dinner table, they can do experiments and show them, you know, what if I add this to this and pay attention, Billy, look at me. But they're not going to do that. They're tired, unless they're one of those really great parents who have a lot of energy and are devoted to their children. Children. Of course, we should reopen schools safely. Of course. But if we stay at home, I was homeschooled for 1 year when I was 7. It wasn't really done in those days, but we didn't have a choice. We were out in the woods, just me and my mother. It took a long time before the police found us, and that was a time in my life. I don't remember everything, but I do remember my mother being taken away. I tell you, my dad said a lot of things about my mother, and some of them were true. What was I? Oh, yeah. Reopening the schools. The kids need to see other kids. They need to form their own society, and parents just ruin them with their own problems, and they take them away sometimes far away, and isolate them from the rest of society, which isn't good. All right, folks. I like to talk a lot. That's why I have this job. But I want to hear what you have to say. That's why today we're going to introduce a new segment where I hear your thoughts, what you want done in this world. My question to you is, what would you do if you could run your own country? How would you run your own country? Here's where I hear the real voice of the people in a segment I like to call If I Were King for a Day.
If I were king for a day, or queen.
If I Were King for a Day or Queen is brought to you by Sandy's Ham Sandwiches. How many different varieties of ham sandwich are there? Sandy's Ham Sandwiches would like to remind you that there are exactly 47, and they're all delicious. Go online now. They've got a buy one get one free deal. Just enter the promo code LibertyBell, all one word. And right now they have an amazing sandwich, ham coleslaw. They mince the cabbage, the ham, the mayonnaise, and some Tuscan black pepper. Or my new favorite, sourdough pig and pumpkin, honey glazed ham, wasabi mayonnaise, and a toasted slice of Japanese green pumpkin between 2 slices of sourdough. I can't stop it watering right now. I haven't had a ham sandwich in, since lunch. I didn't finish it because my wife called me. There was an animal in the garage. But folks, just go to Sandy's Ham Sandwiches now, buy one and get one free. Give it to your friend, presumably your ham buddy. Okay, today's King for a Day is Marco Nuncio from Salinas, California. Take it away, King Marco.
Hey, Belle. It's Marco Nuncio. This is my recorded message for If I Were a King today. I mean, if I were a king for a day.
Oh, come on, just...
You didn't specify whether it was king of your own country, king of America, or king of the world. So, I will just be king of the world.
All right.
In which case, I would build a big house, have lots of servants, and make all the women of the world be topless 24/7. Okay, love your show. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Marco. Well, that would be okay, I guess, but what about in the winter? It gets really cold. You know, some segments work, and then you try them again, and they don't work, and then you have to tinker with them a little, and I think we're going to have to tinker with that one. Okay, we're going to take a little break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Professor Lisa Krust about soy boys. You'll want to stick around for that. So just go to the kitchen, get some coffee or a cream puff. But otherwise, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Bell Howard Show. You're listening to Real Libertarian Radio. There's not much out there, but But folks, if you're looking for it, this is where it is. It's the real deal. All right, well, folks, we have a special guest. Professor Lisa Krust she wrote a great piece for Reasonable Ideas magazine titled Soyboy Revolution or Devolution: What Soy Products and Soy Culture Mean for Men, Politics, and the Future of America. Professor Krust, thanks for coming on the show and talking about this. Hey, I have to tell you, I ordered a latte today, and I thought, what the heck, I'm going to get a soy latte. What's the harm in that? And you know what? It wasn't half bad. What is the problem with soy?
Bill, wait till tomorrow. When you wake up, that soy will have established a culture in your intestines that will send a signal to your brain, and your brain will tell your body to start making estrogen. And what's more, you will be more irritable, you will lose your sense of direction, and you may experience hot flashes, and you'll be a little bloated, honey.
Wow, just from a soy latte? I mean, shouldn't they put a warning label on these things?
Oh, Bill, will the government ever work in the interest of the people? I mean, they put labels on everything else, but the things that really harm us, they look the other way. You ever notice that? Here's the problem. The government is in bed with the soy industry, and you will never see a warning label until there is a sea change. I don't even know what that means. People always say sea change. I mean,
wow. So what happens exactly? I mean, you say that an increase in estrogen and it increases estrogen and decreases testosterone. What is the science behind that?
it has been known for centuries that soy culture is a degenerate form of culture. Look at the typical American man. The typical American man in 1987 ate 3 cheeseburgers a day. Nowadays, cheeseburgers are so demonized that a typical American man will eat maybe 3 a month. And then when asked if he likes cheeseburgers, he will say yes, but he feels guilty about it. We also looked at the number of injuries in all major pro sports, and it's not hard to see that you have a strong correlation with higher number of cheeseburgers, less injuries. Whereas now, when we've replaced the cheeseburger with the tofu salad and walnuts, the injuries have gone up.
Yeah, but Professor Krust, what is going on in our bodies? I mean, how does the soy stop our body from making testosterone?
Okay, here's where it gets a little technical. I don't want to lose any of your listeners. I have a PhD in natural science philosophy from Freedom University, so when I lay it down, you know it's sound. Okay, so our bodies are like a dance club, and the bouncer is something called a polypitode. Now, the polypitode is the key here. He decides whether the balance of estrogen and testosterone is correct for your gender. Now, here comes a soy boy to the dance club. Now, the soy is wearing skinny-ass jeans, a close-cropped haircut, tattoos up to his wrist, and a handlebar mustache, and a pink T-shirt with a unicorn on it. Did I say T-shirt? T-shirt. Okay, so there's sort of a gender confusion going on, and that confuses the polypitode. After a while, the polypitode lets in more soy than testosterone, and that's when it starts to break down. If there are more soy boys in your dance club than testosterone in your dance club, then honey, I can't help you.
And the dance club is, in this analogy, the dance club is what?
The dance club is what I call your culture. Now, the culture is a combination of stomach, intestines, and the endocrine system. All of those working in harmony make great music together.
So it's all about your polypitodes. I'll take your word for it. You know, when When people explain things like that in a scientific language, my eyes kind of just glaze over, and I have flashbacks to freshman biology, and I'm sitting there next to Francine Hammond, and I can't stop looking at her socks.
Well, I warned you it was going to get technical.
Well, I also read that soy or soybean oil contains toxic trans fatty acids. Trans fats can cause numerous health problems, as you know, including diabetes. So,
Well, look who's doing some reading. Yeah, that too. I mean, if you want to talk about trans fats, look no further than soybean oil, which is everywhere. It's in our schools, it's on TV. Hollywood has totally embraced it.
yeah, so it's all about the polypetodes. Professor Krust, what does this mean for America? You know, you're looking at these polypetodes and testosterone under a microscope, but when you pull back and take a wider look at America, what do you see? What is the connection here, if any, to politics?
Bill, if we don't have a certain level of testosterone in this country, if the average man continues to lose his testosterone because of soy-based products and soy-based ideas, we're in trouble. That means less aggressive politics and less certainty and more exposure to danger from outside forces. Look at China and Japan. They're next in line to take our crown and take our spot in the world. You don't like that? Then you have to push against the soy lobby in Washington to stop selling soy to kids, or we're gonna lose a generation.
Well, I think we already have. You know, I saw a boy the other day wearing a mask with a little Japanese cartoon character on it, and it kind of looked like My Little Pony. If I wore that when I was a kid, I would have gotten two black eyes. Not that I wanted to wear a My Little Pony mask when I was a kid, but you know what I mean.
Oh, they're everywhere. Soy boy culture is spreading, and it's up to the parents to spot the early signs and nip it in the bud.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What are those signs? In your piece, you mentioned some, and I was wondering if you could go over them so that any parents who are listening can take the proper actions to curbing soy culture in their own home.
Two articles of clothing you gotta look out for: skinny jeans and blousey t-shirts.
I'm sorry, did you say blousey?
Also, long hair, but shaved in different places on the side and in the back. Flashy facial hair and voluntary poverty.
Voluntary poverty. I'm just writing this down. It's like we thought this was coming from the schools and the cultural Marxists that run the education system, but it's coming from the soy fields. So it goes back to the earth, I guess.
And that's why I keep saying our enemy is not the corporations. They are on the front lines of a war with Mother Nature that has been going since the beginning of time. She's been trying to exterminate us since forever, and the corporations are the ones trying to tame it. And then you have the soy boys and government trying to regulate the corporations and telling us to wear a mask, and that's why Mother Nature is winning.
Now stay on that a minute. Let's circle back like an owl that's just spotted a mouse in a moonlit field. Masks play a role in this too?
Bill, when we exhale carbon dioxide, now get your thinking caps on because we're going back to school. When you breathe out carbon dioxide, the mask keeps it in and it can't go out into nature. So that's why when you walk out, don't you notice the trees are greener these days?
Yeah, I noticed that. There are more of them too.
Exactly. So you are poisoning yourself with your own carbon dioxide just to see a few more trees? Who's talking crazy now?
I mean, I've been wearing a mask, and what I don't like is, especially when I eat cheese, and that's almost every day, the cheese smell just stays around the corners of my mouth, and as much as I wash that part, it won't go away. Wearing a surgeon's mask just compounds that problem. I gotta smell that. You know, I ate a quesadilla, and I'm dreading just walking home with that smell in my mask.
Yeah. I mean,
I like quesadillas more than I like smelling them. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
All right, so if I'm a soy boy and I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, oh my God, my life's over, I'm going to bring about the downfall of America, how can you turn this around? What do you recommend I do?
Well, if you were a soy boy and you expressed sadness for the downfall of America, I would say you are in a light stage of soy saturation. So there's hope for you. I would say a bacon cheeseburger a day for 3 months, no problem. You're good. But here's the thing, soy boys, most of the time, don't even realize how saturated they are, and they don't have the wherewithal or the withal or the with wiffle or the wiffle ball to they don't know how deep they are. So it's up to their closest kin to get them out. So I would say to their family, to the people that love these boys, it's Operation Soy Destroy. You have to apply clandestine measures to get your boys healthy again. I would say, for starters, hey, honey, want some soy hamburger helper? Now, he says yes. Okay, so you make 2 batches. One is for you with real meat because we don't want to lose you too. And the other batch is for your son. And the rule for that batch is 80-20. 80 soy, 20 real meat. It's that level of methodical soy replacement that will return your son to normal. But it might take years.
But it's your flesh and blood. You got to do what you got to do, right?
And flesh and blood being the key there, because if you don't do this, they won't be flesh and blood. They will be various forms of soy in the shape of a boy.
Ah, soy boys. Well, thank you, Professor Krust. The article can be found in Reasonable Ideas magazine. The title is Soyboy Revolution or Devolution, What Soy Products and Soy Culture Mean for Men, Politics, and the Future of America. Professor Krust, thank you so much for your time today.
Bill, if you haven't already, throw the rest of that soy latte out. Just get rid of it.
I already drank it, but I'm ordering a couple of ham sandwiches, so hopefully that will do the trick.
Hope so, too. Bye, Bill, and God bless.
Thank you, Professor Krust. That was Professor Lisa Krust. Well, if you didn't think so before, I hope now you realize that science is probably the most important subject out there, and we should really study and learn as much as we can about this when we're fighting the culture war and fighting against the liberal technocratic system. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bell Howard, and we'll see you next time when we have another exciting guest, another exciting show, and another exciting exchange of ideas, real ideas, libertarian ideas, free ideas, fun ideas, and caffeine-free ideas, if you're into that too. All right, folks, I'm Bell Howard. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.